Well, the federal election is just over 8 weeks away. Joining us this morning is federal NDP leader Thomas Mulcair. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Morning,
really
Holly.
Appreciate it. So you got into Winnipeg last night. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Well, we had a magnificent rally. Over 1,000 people were there. A lot of our candidates, all of the ones from the Winnipeg area were there. And we've got a great team. People are energized. They're feeling very upbeat and positive about what we can accomplish together. We have a clear plan to kickstart the economy. We have a plan for $15 a day childcare. That's resonating very well across the country. So all hope is open to us to form a government on October 19th.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that national childcare program. So can you tell us a little bit about what exactly your plan is?
Well, we want to bring in a shared cost program. We'll talk to the provinces. It won't be one size fits all because the situation changes from province to province. But we've gotten the support, for example, of the government here in Manitoba. We've also got the support of Kathleen Wynne's government in Ontario. So it shows that we've got the idea, the basic principle right. 60% of it will be picked up by the federal government, 40% by the provinces, maximum $15 a day. Quality childcare really gives young people a better chance to start well in life. And it's also great for parents. But interestingly enough, it's good for the economy, and we're getting great support from chambers of commerce and boards of trade across the country as well.
Wow. All right. So here in Manitoba, we have 14 seats, and in the past, mainly Conservative votes, 1 Liberal, 2 NDP. How does that? How do you feel about that coming into Manitoba?
The number one thing my wife Catherine and I hear as we travel across the country is that people are ready for change. So Manitoba's no different. We've got a great team, somebody like Daniel Blakey running for us in Elmwood, Transcona. I met a lot of our new exciting candidates last night. I mean, we're really fielding a strong team of candidates, and we're very optimistic about what we can do here in Manitoba. People know as well here in Manitoba and across the West that the party that defeats Conservatives is the NDP. So they're looking at us as never before. We are the official opposition for the first time. We've done a good job in that, holding the government to account. Now we're showing that we can be a government in waiting.
Now, last night I noticed that one person that was absent was, of course, our Premier, Greg Selinger. Is there a reason for that?
I got a chance to see Greg at an event right after. I've known him for a long time. But across the country, we're concentrating on bringing our message forward. So I do get to see him and work with him, and we get along very well.
Is it concerning at all that our Premier was voted the least liked out of all of the premiers in the country?
You know, the NDP federally is putting an offer on the table to kickstart the economy, to take care of the environment, make sure that we leave more to our children and grandchildren. Greg and his government have done an amazing job, for example, of keeping unemployment very low, working on issues like social housing. They've got a track record, but of course, federally and provincially, we're working on different emphasis, but I'm going to work with the provinces no matter what their political stripe.
I know last night you also mentioned about a national inquiry for missing and murdered Aboriginal women. Why is that so important for you?
Because it hasn't taken place yet. 1,200 Aboriginal women murdered or missing. Think about it this way. That's about the population of Greater Ottawa. Can you imagine if 1,200 women had been murdered or gone missing in Ottawa? You think we'd have to be begging for an inquiry to find out what the problem is? So we need to sit down, we need a Royal Commission of Inquiry. We're going to consult on the mandate, but within 100 days of forming government, we will launch just such an inquiry.
So within 100 days?
Yep.
Okay. Another big topic here that we're talking about, Show Lake, of course, Freedom Road. What is the stance on that? We know that Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have said they would fund that. The Conservatives have not gone on board on that.
Yeah, and there have been so many broken promises on that road. I mean, they're calling it, in fact, the Freedom Road. We're clear that an NDP government would make sure that Canada paid its fair share. The federal government would be there. It has to get done. It's an aberration that it hasn't taken place. And people are disappointed because it's been put off and put off. We're going to get it done.
All right, so where next for you in this campaign?
We're heading back east after a week that saw us go everywhere from Montreal to Niagara Falls to Vancouver Island and Vancouver and back here to Winnipeg. Been a busy week, but there are going to be 8 more of those, as you just pointed out. We're having fun. We got a spring in our step, and we got lots of optimism. Any
particular spot that you're looking to make stops in several times throughout the campaign? Or?
We're going to be here several times throughout the campaign, but it's a big country, and it takes a lot of work and a great deal of organization to cover it properly. But we're doing a pretty good job so far. Between now and the end of the month, I'm going to be hitting a little bit more in Atlantic Canada, where we had started right at the beginning of the campaign. But the West is extraordinarily important. We're sensing that there's a lot of movement and potential there. Really, people have decided to get rid of Stephen Harper. Now the question is, well, you know, what are we going to do? And we know that we're fighting to defeat and replace Stephen Harper. Canadians are looking at us and saying, yeah, I think that they've got the plan, they've got the team, and they can actually do it. Middle-class families are seeing their revenues drop. household debt's at an all-time high. We need a different approach. Mr. Harper's plan hasn't worked. We've got a clear plan to kickstart the economy and create jobs.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us this morning.
Thank you, Holly.